Well, I think what really is important about GSIC in 2020 is the launch, but is trying to create an ecosystem in India where, from an injury point of view in sport, players, whatever sport they're in, and not just from a cricket perspective, players empower themselves with knowledge. There's an ecosystem that will hopefully help them prevent injuries in the first place, but if they are injured, identify the correct injuries, and then also manage it. Because you had cases in the past where players have been diagnosed and treated for a certain injury, and it actually hasn't solved anything because it's been the wrong misdiagnosis. So I think from that perspective, there's an ecosystem with great expertise, and too often that is in isolation. So can you combine that and bring that together that allows athletes to be able to perform at the best of their ability for an extended period of time? Well, I think it's going to be really difficult from the outset. I think that's also, as an aim point of view, it's a big goal, and I think from the perspective of being able to achieve it, the more people that we bring in, the more experts that we bring in, the more information that we assimilate and then make available to athletes and associations, because I think that is the key. You get many young players coming through whatever system, whatever sport bodies they're involved with, and before they have access to the information, they're picking up injuries. So I think from a point of view of correct training techniques, this kind of information really needs to be available to sporting bodies that gives youngsters the opportunity to arrive at the or state level or international level with the correct foundation in place. No, I think from my point of view, as a youngster growing up in South Africa, we were exposed to many different sports. So I was a football player, a hockey player, a tennis player, as well as a cricket player. So the lateral movement, the diving around. We have grass on our fields as kids at school, so that they weren't that hard. They were hard, but you were never actually worried about diving and myself. So we would dive around the field without a second thought, without hesitation. And I think if anything, if you go into the sort of diving that I was doing as a cricket player, if you go in fully committed at 100%,
you can't stop.
Well, you have momentum, so you don't hit the ground coming down. You slide across the ground. Sure, your grass burns. You would lose maybe a layer of skin on your elbows or your knees, but internally you're protecting yourself from injury because there was a correct technique. So too often in India, you see youngsters who, because they know the ground is hard, they go on their knees first because they're almost breaking their fall. So for me, it was more a case as, because I'm going 100%, fully committed, I'm actually, there's less risk of me injuring myself. I don't think young players are worried about injuries. They're more concerned about training injuries in the gym, because you can, with weights, you can do real damage. And also over a 6 weeks or 7 week IPL period, it's very intense. There isn't much time for recovery. So I think an important part of training is recovery and these days off. Which I don't think young players, they see this kind of goal that they want to achieve, and there's only one way to get there. It does require hard work, but it also requires smart. You damage yourself, and I think that's the perception of what fitness is in India. So from that point of view, I want to see wellness, be and incorporated in not just men's cricket, women's cricket, but in all sport, in all youngsters coming through, boys and girls, being aware of the fact that the foundation that they're laying now is going to be the key to their success later on.